So this is push hands number 2 in the series, and it's just about push. We're just going to look at push, an in Chinese. Push is not push. It's not like a kid pushing over another kid. You're actually trying to use your legs to push them. And so what you have to do that is first take in their force and give it back. So that's basically all of Tai Chi in a nutshell. You're not moving away from the force, you're not pushing it away, you're taking it into your body, putting it in the foot, and then transferring it back out through your hands. So push is a really nice way of practicing that. So to do that, you need a partner, obviously. And remember what we did in the first section where he was just pushing one shoulder, then he was pushing the other, and pushing the hip. Well, now he's going to take both hands and he's going to push them evenly on both shoulders. So what do? You can't go that, right, because he's using both. So you're going to shift back, right? So the first thing you do is just learn to do this. And you just shift forward and back with this pressure. That's first. And just like we did in the first section, not a big deal. You're just learning to deal with the pressure by shifting it forward and back. So when he shifts forward, you shift back. When he shifts back, you shift forward, and you just keep the pressure even on the hands. You don't change the pressure. And then I do it to him. I shift forward, he shifts back. I shift back, he shifts forward, like that. And we're just sticking to each other. And I know this is cooperative, but it's training exercise. It's developing something called discernment. So you're discerning a feint from a real, but first to do that, you have to know where your body is in space, for one, and where his body is. And then you need to know where your center is and where his center is. That's basics. So that's first what we have to do is trying to figure out where those two things are. So once you can do that, then we're going to add the hands in there. So he's going to push, and at the peak of doing that, I'm going to lift my wrist right underneath this thing. This piece of his elbow, right on the front side. So it's going to go right in there. And this is in the beginning of the form when we lift the hands. And you're going to shift back and lift the hands right under the arms. And then I get my hands on his shoulders and push right just below the clavicle, the collarbone here with your palms. Not too low, not too high here, but there's like a little indent right there. You can put your butt of your palms. And you push, and he does it to me. Now he lifts up my arms. And then we complete the circle. Now we just keep on going. So now we have a little two-person drill where we're learning to push and learning to yield. So really the essence of Tai Chi is about yielding, not about the push. It's actually about yielding. So if I yield properly to his push, it should get him off balance. See it? So like that. If I can get underneath him by yielding, so if I absorb enough of his pressure, I'll find out where he's off balance, like right here. Right? So you have to take in his push completely into your back foot. When you can't do it anymore, okay, lift your hands. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get all of his weight in your foot. His weight, not just yours, his too. So that's yielding. Yielding isn't running away. It's not becoming this loose kind of like thing like that. No, no, no. Yielding is actually just absorbing everything into the ground. And then you get that. You get him off balance. See, and you can move him really easily. And eventually you get so good at it, you only need 4 ounces to move him. Because you've absorbed him so much, he's already off balance. So that's the first thing you have to do, and this practice is good for that, because it will show you exactly how to do that. That is, as you shift forward, you'll notice, oh, there's tension in his shoulder here, so I can push that. So if he can't yield to it, then he's got something he has to work through. So if I tense up my shoulder now, see what happens? So you have to relax. And you have to take that shoulder and you put it in your foot. Up. Look, make him come up. Up. Now he's trying to catch himself, and that's good. So the progress is like that. You're always trying to soften around someone. You don't push like this. Because then you just tension again. It gives you away. So that's telegraphing. Tension is telegraphing. This is equal to us in Tai Chi. So you don't want to have any telegraphing. telegraphing no good, right? Because they know exactly where you are. You can just push me, no problem. But if I can relax, oh, he starts to telegraph. Now, oh, look, he's off balance. So that's the process. And you want to keep doing this process for a while. It might take years. But in the process, you'll find a lot of interesting things that can happen. So another thing we can do with push is this push exercise. And this is from Mr. Smith. And he's going to push on my arm and shift forward. And I'm going to let him. And as he drops at his front left hip joint, I relax my front left hip joint, which has no weight on it. I'm letting him push me, and then as he goes down, my foot starts to lift off the floor. You can get my foot in there. And as it comes up, he just keeps going under and keeps relaxing his shoulders, and that makes me more off balance until, so ideally you want to pick up his foot 3 times. And you switch to the other side. And so this is teaching you how to do Qigong, which is just picking something up from the ground. So he's using too much shoulders. So I encourage him to get more straight and upright. Bend the right hip joint. Okay, now he's more aligned. So he can pick up my foot easily by just dropping his hip, his front hip joint. Yeah, I'm trying to yield to his push by just relaxing. And that picks up my foot, and I let him pick it up 3 times. 4th time he gets to push. Now I do it to him. So this is the push exercise, and you do the hardest arm, which is the front arm. It's your ward-off arm. And so, again, I shift forward. He tries to relax. When I feel him get off balance, you can see his body move a little bit, and I just soften around that. I don't try to push it. And then I do it again. I sink down a little more and soften some more. And his foot comes up some more, and I just keep softening around it until he can't stand there anymore. So at first it's just like that, but eventually this tension will just start to rise up, and you'll feel it, and you just push it when it rises up. So that's a good introduction to push.